The instructions that come with the Endless Beauty, they're completely visual. Now online, we have these same images and we do have some explanations, but just in case people want to go through them, we want to tell them what the pictures are, because the pictures are pretty darn good.
1 through 33, we'll kind of just do a quick sum up. Number 1, put the flooring in the room for minimum 48 hours. In the picture, they're staggered like Lincoln log planks. 2
just shows us the tools we're going to need. We're going to need some underlayment.
Yep, underlayment. You also, of course, will need some ClickGuard product, which we will automatically include.
What are the wedges?
The wedges pieces, those are for expansion spacing pieces along the wall to keep your 1/4 inch gap.
So you put those along the wall and you push your planks up against those instead of the wall itself. Like a saw, a ruler,
saw for standard cutting. I'll use a jigsaw table saw for easier cutting. 3 is about your evenness of your subsurface. No more than a 3 millimeter difference across a 1 meter span, which is about just over 3 feet. 4 is just don't install damaged planks.
Which hopefully you check before you got them.
Oh yeah.
We've got a video about what to do when your material arrives.
Yep. Number 5, don't glue to the floor. Don't nail it or screw it around the edge. You don't do that. Number 6, definitely remove carpet or rugs. Don't put over top of it.
Not recommended for a bath or a sauna.
Not recommended for bathroom. Number 8, it shows them putting down the padding. And on the top portion of that shows the sound absorption. On the bottom, it shows the sound absorption with moisture barrier. But all the paddings that we send automatically have both built in together. Number 9 is the sound absorb system. It's telling you not to attach a pad to the back of the floor. Number 10 is, that is for radiant heat right there. You can go over a radiant heat subfloor just fine. It cannot exceed 81 degrees. Basically what number 11 is showing, it's showing you what orientation to put the planks in the room. It's just showing you to whatever the sunlight is coming in the room is the way you want to face the planks.
The next one, we've got a video that shows how to do this, but basically what's it illustrating?
Yeah, number 12 is the ClickGuard product, showing at the top portion of the tongue of the flooring, which we do have a video. You can refer to that to show more details on how to put that in.
Now our video is just angle, but as you can see in the picture, you do the top portion of the tongue in the angle side, and you also do the top portion of the drop and lock side.
Yeah, the top portion of the drop and lock.
Not the bottom portion, and the reason is because the ClickGuard's job is to keep moisture on the top of that seam, so you want the ClickGuard as close to the top of the seam as possible.
Exactly. And number 13 here, it's showing your tongue portion up against your spacers.
And also a top left, the front left's
that's considered the left corner of the room. As you can facing out towards the field is the bottom portion of the locking mechanism, and you can see the bottom portion of the locking mechanism there, right up there, close to us.
And there are those spacers.
And the spacers, yes.
And our next picture is an excellent diagram of the dropping portion of the locking system. That shows that little device.
Yep, shows a little plastic piece right there. Once you push down, it's going to click out and lock into the plank.
The G5 locking system is basically this little black device. That pops in to the drop and lock side, and basically normally a drop and lock isn't locked at all until you put in the next row, but with the G5 locking system it actually snaps into place.
It snaps it in, and that little piece right there will help you keep the lock in.
And we have a special video on the G5 locking system from another product that'll illustrate it, but this picture is really great showing you how that works. You'll hear that click as you snap it.
You'll hear that click as you put it down. And then on number 15, it's just showing you pushing the end joints down, locking to click into place.
Right, which is what you just saw in the previous picture.
16, it's showing you at the end of the row where to cut the plank for the last plank you're going to fit into the last area there.
And the arrow indicates that you turn it 180 degrees. So for temporarily the groove will be facing you. Draw a line, cut it, turn it back around.
Yeah.
Because you still need to have the locking mechanisms engaged.
Exactly.
Inside the room, and your cut piece is up against the spacer.
Yep. So once you've cut it, you need to reverse it 180 degrees back into the spot to lock it in.
And the next picture shows that in fact.
The next picture shows you after you've flipped it around 180 degrees, locking into place.
Piece 1 is the piece you cut and that you turned around. Piece 2 is going to be the beginning of the next row.
Piece 2 is taken to begin the next row.
Which you see in the next picture.
Yep.
And the next picture we can see the piece down and also
piece down and an overhead picture showing the 1 and 2 planks of where it's put in.
Excellent.
And then number 20 is showing your angle to put in your drop and lock right there at the 20 degrees.
So at least 20 degrees or it's not going to lock.
Yep, won't lock in together.
And then you click it down.
Then 21 shows you just pushing it down to lock that plastic piece in. Number 22 is just showing you a good illustration coming across the room of the planks in the installation.
Now 22 shows a very sort of
uniform
thing with the bevels, which you could do.
Yep. Yep.
And you can also randomize.
Yep, you can also randomize. The randomize, whatever you take to begin the second row, like the cut piece, that is going to give you a random look through the room.
It's just going to cause randomness to happen, as long as you make sure to do your 8 inches.
Yep. Number 23, it shows you how far you can go before you need to put down expansion spacing molding.
And what are your numbers there?
Which number right here shows 8 meters, which is actually 315 inches.
Which is a little over 26 feet.
26 feet. Okay, so in other words, you can go to a max of 26 feet in a room. If you have any longer, you'll need to put a trim spacing in.
And basically what happens is you're basically installing up to that space as if it's a wall, putting a trim spacing down and starting again as if it's a wall.
Yep.
You're treating it like it's just like you've got a couple of rooms in one room as far as your floor is concerned.
Exactly. Your floor won't buckle in the middle of the room. Number 24 is just an illustration showing, where you're going to cut your planks if you have stuff like hoses going through the floor.
Right. The next pictures are all about
next
how to
picture,
cut around.
Yeah, showing you how to cut around and everything like that. It shows you, of course, putting some glue on the plank right there to glue that plank back together.
Of course.
Once you put it in.
Right.
Number 27 is showing you undercutting your door jambs. Well, it shows you flipping the board upside down so you know where to cut it so it matches up to the floor.
So in a lot of cases you can use your board as your measuring tool.
Yep, use your board as your measuring tool to flip it upside down. And then number 28 is showing it after it's cut and you're sliding the plank into place right there. Number 29 is showing you going up against the wall. Now it looks like that plank right there up against the wall.
Cut laterally long ways to make it fit, which will happen. 30
is just, looks like that's a cord system. I mean, that's something you buy a specialty item at a home store or something like that to be able to hide the cords and stuff in the room. For cables and stuff like that, to hide them in the room so they're not visible.
Okay, and then 31, 32, and 33 are basically maintenance stuff.
Maintenance type stuff. In other words, 31 is showing you do not use any type of oil, wax, or polish on the floor as it will leave a film.
But dust mops and Swiffers
you can use Swiffers and dust mops. Now that type of Swiffer you got there, it needs to be a dry Swiffer.
Right.
Don't use a Swiffer wet jet.
You don't use anything with any injecting or any steam.
No wet mopping, no steam mops or anything.
ClickGuard or no, you don't want to be forcing water through the sink.
Yeah, you don't want to chance it. Number 32 is just showing you do some spot cleaning, and it shows you just putting a little bit of a damp amount onto a cloth just to do a quick cleaning, like spot cleaning.
Right.
But I would always recommend if you're doing spot cleaning with a damp cloth, have a dry one handy, so you can immediately dry it up as soon as you put it on.
Furniture feet must be made of wood, metal, or plastic, or furnished with felt protectors. Only office chairs with soft rollers. That's very hard to tell that they mean soft rollers in that very, very tiny picture.
Yeah, soft rollers, and put felt pads underneath all the legs. Down here is your disassembly.
So how to take it apart.
How to take it apart. This right here, instead of, it shows you lifting the planks up, but to take your end joints apart after you've locked them, it just shows them sliding apart. You don't try to lift them up.
Okay, that's good.